Okay, round two. We've got the choice, playing first, and keeping. Appears to be good to me. We've got turn two him off of the turn one birds, which I think I will do before the search for tomorrow, but we shall see. Him is pretty nice on turn two. See if we're up against red deck wins, potentially. Could be. No, looks like a green ramp as well. Green white. Ooh, Sylvan Library. All right, well, this him looks like, ooh, little Thoughtseize as well. Well, let's see. I feel like him is more brutal here, but at the same time, I can do Search for Tomorrow plus Thoughtseize. That's pretty good, actually. Then next turn, him to Turek. Let's do a Thoughtseize. I like the him, but I feel like him's still going to be really brutal next turn. So being able to search for tomorrow's does take a couple turns, but I feel like we're going to be busy. All right, let's drop a swamp. Let's Thoughtseize our opponent. See what we're dealing with here. Pilgrim, Ascetic, Ooze. Ooze is actually pretty good against us. It's going to eliminate our graveyard strategy. That being said, Ascetic's pretty good too, but I feel like I can beat Ascetic, whereas I can beat Ooze too, but Ooze feels more annoying for what my deck's trying to do, I think. So let's just make him ditch the Ooze. And then he's pretty motivated to play Ascetic next turn. So that's going to open us up for a nice him. Yeah, let's get rid of the Ooze. Let's search and pass. See if he pays any life. He doesn't know about the him, so I would assume he's going to put some good cards in his hand. If he pays life for them. Oh, he drew one extra one. Him to Turek could just hit a couple lands too, but it's random, so let's see what we get. We're still quite a few resources away from our bomby creatures. I presume he's just going to cast Ascetic, which is okay. We can still beat Ascetic. It's going to take him a while to beat us down with that. All right, not doing Ascetic. What is he doing instead? Nothing. So I feel like this him has super high potential to be good here. All right, so we're still going to be a couple resources away, even with the search for tomorrow, before we can do the Avenger, but that's all right. Let's see what we hit. Sword of Light and Shadow and a Plains. All right, so we know he's still got an Ascetic in there, but hitting Sword of Light and Shadow is still quite good. But like I said, we're still quite a few resources away from getting these big fat fatties out. Natural Order would be a fantastic draw. Would allow us to get our Progenitus. which, based on what we saw in his hand, he's going to have a hard time dealing with. Fauna Shaman would be a nice draw, since it would open us up for ditching these and finding more utility stuff like Acidic Slime and Reclamation Sage. Alright, Nissa's going to be tough to beat, unfortunately, but I can't do anything about it, so got to do the best we can here. We've got a little bit of time, but not much. Not much time at all. So I'm going to have to draw something pretty good here. Alright, well, guess we're only one resource from Avenger now, which isn't that bad. So Avenger is going to be a good way to get back in this, since it can at least reliably block the Nissa things. But the problem is I'm not going to be able to race very easily, that's for sure. So we pretty much need to draw a land next turn, or I don't know what else. It's pretty much land or bust at this point. Nissa's going to take the game over pretty quick. Well, moving to combat actually makes me feel a little bit better, since he didn't just go ahead and make another 4/4 to attack us with. So that could have been worse. Take a little bit of damage here. See if he just follows up with Ascetic. He's only got 2 cards left in hand. Oh, I guess he could tap out and then untap 4 lands. Oh, Kitchen Finks. All right, Kitchen Finks is pretty tolerable. Can handle that. I guess he's going to untap now and then cast Troll Ascetic. So land or bust is still pretty much where we're at. But if we can resolve Avenger, I'm feeling better, since it can eat one of his trample forests. All right, he's just turning that into a trample forest. All right, got it. Did get the land. That's good news for us. So unfortunately, we're not going to have buffed plants, but I'm not going to complain about getting the thing that we needed right here. So let's bust out our 7-drop, get a bunch of dudes. If I can draw a land next turn, that would be pretty amazing, since it would not only allow us to Terracodon blow up Nissa, but it would also allow us to possibly blow up some of our lands for stuff. Like, I'd probably just blow up Nissa and be done with it, but we'll see. I was going to say maybe Nissa and Sylvan Library, but at this point it might just be in our best interest to blow up a couple of our lands instead. He ate another 4 damage there, which is worrisome. Alright. Guess we eat the coast, since it's access to blue mana. Well, that's pretty bad for us, but I guess at the same time it does allow us to theoretically cast Terracodon. We have to do some pretty hardcore chumping here, which is bad for us. It's definitely bad. We're in pretty rough shape, but not the worst situation I've ever seen in my life. I think we're probably just taking 8. Unfortunately, Path is going to be much better against our recurring Nightmare plan, but it's okay. Oh, let's figure this out. So block that, clearly. Take 9? Go to 4? Yeah, I guess we can do that. Wait, what did I do wrong? Oh, well, I screwed up. How did I not see that forest underneath his other forest? I don't like the creatures getting bundled up, so that's pretty annoying, but I guess I did it to myself because I didn't notice the creature underneath his other creature. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't do it like that, but yeah, I guess I can't maths, so that sucks. Not very happy about that. I guess Ophielmancer actually seems like a pretty reasonable card in this matchup against the 4/4 tokens. We still have to eat 3 damage, but we get little snakes that are death touchy. That seems alright. Reclamation Sage and Acidic Slime would have been very good in that match. That was a pretty annoying loss, I'm not going to lie. That definitely sapped some of my spirit and morale a little bit, but it's alright. Got to try my best here. Maelstrom Pulse, unfortunately, cannot do anything about the creatures, the 4/4 tramplers. So that's a bummer, but that's okay. Can I do Ophielmancer? Probably not. I don't see a single thing I want to cut instead of it. I could cut E-Witness, but I actually like Eternal Witness. And I could cut... I can't think of anything else I could cut. Maybe a ramp spell, but that doesn't seem smart. I think we keep it the same. We're actually geared just fine. In fact, we probably would have done okay that game if I had blocked correctly and done some mathematics, but math is tough, I guess, for my brain. So what does this hand do? It searches, does not ramp. Progenitus is pretty awful to start with. We do have a Recurring Nightmare, which we can eventually cast. We have no way to get stuff in our yard. I'm going to keep it, only because Reclamation Sage is at least good against the Mox. But this hand could be pretty terrible for us. It's pretty dependent on drawing well. Well, our opponent mulls to 5. It's going to help a little bit. But yes, Progenitus is essentially a completely dead card in our hand. It's as if we already mulled to 6, essentially, with this hand. But it's tough to mulligan it, mostly because of how good the utility of Reclamation Sage potentially is in this match. Still really kicking myself about that botching it in the beginning there, but gotta just chill out and allow the fact that I made a big, huge blunder. Alright, no second land, so I've got some time. I guess we get the second black source. Draw for turn, mana crypt, so that's nice. So we have 6 mana potential, still a couple resources away from Terastodon. No reason to Reclamation Sage, so I guess we're just chilling out for now. Arbor Elf. Alright, can't do anything about that. Can't even untap his coast, so it's pretty much worthless. Alright, let's get Mr. Solemn out there. Get our 3rd green source. And at this point, we're just 1 resource away from Terastodon essentially taking this game over. Well, him seems fine. Guess we'll do that. See what we get rid of here. Gaddock Teague and Disenchant. I'm wondering why I brought in Gaddock Teague. What are the spells we played that are more than 4? Can't remember now. Non-creatures. I don't think there are any that I can think of. Alright, so resource away from Terastodon. Reclamation Sage, still in the tool belt if we need it. Disenchant's pretty good against Recurring Nightmare, but we get priority on that, and you don't play it until you use it, so I guess it's not even that good against it. Unless for some reason I played it and wasn't using it. Did find his green source, so he's at 3 mana at this point. I'm hoping he just plays an artifact or an enchantment that I can blow up. or that I draw a land so I can Terrastodon. Three mana. Kitchen Finks. All right, it's a good way to buy some time. Let's see here. There's our land. All right, so now we bust the Terrastodon. Let's go ahead and attack with Solemn first, because I'd like to get the card draw and get a persist thing off of that. He doesn't want to block it though, so let's do this and the Mana Crypt and bust the Terrastodon. And we'll blow up his 2 lands, and we'll blow up, theoretically I could blow up my Mana Crypt. I think that's fine, actually. If I blow up my Mana Crypt, I don't have to worry about taking damage from it, and I just can't play Avenger yet, but eventually I think I'll be able to, so Mana Crypt it is. And because we have the Recurring Nightmare, certainly don't have any fears of attacking with Terrastodon. It seems like it's going to be fine for us. Alright, so let's go ahead and bash with Team, because I don't even mind if Solemn dies. I guess there's no way for him to kill all of my guys, so let's just attack with everything. See how he blocks. We're going to end up nightmaring back the Terrastodon anyway, because I assume he wants to kill that, but I guess we'll find out. Nope, he's just doing some chumping and trading. Drawing off Solemn's still very good for us, since we can Recurring Nightmare it back. Oh, he changed his mind. Alright, well, our play just got much better. Killing all of his guys. He gets to persist. Takes a little bit of damage. Gains a bit of life. We go ahead and drop Fyndhorn Elves, and I think we're just going to sack our Solemn for the card draw value and blow up our own lands. So let's go ahead. Maybe he concedes after this, to be honest. So we'll draw our card. Get our dude back, blow up our lands. I guess I want to blow up my green sources since I still have double green with Fyndhorn Elves, and double black could still be useful. Alright, just concession at this point. Makes sense. Opponent got super hosed there mana-wise. So, ultimate price for what? Cannot hit Ascetic. It can hit a ramp creature. It can hit a land that he makes with Nissa. That seems like a waste, though. Actually, are they even colored? They might not even be colored. Now I don't know if Nissa turns them into green creatures. Even if it does, I'm not really interested. It's still the question of do I want Ophiomancer, but I feel like I don't. I just can't decide what I want to cut for Ophiomancer is the issue. I think we leave it the same. I mean, there's a good chance he doesn't have flyers, which does make Ophiomancer quite good. I could cut the Reclamation Sage. He's running Mox, which makes me want to keep it, but Ophiomancer might be better value. I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. We still have the chance of Natural Order being busted, so let's just hope we get that in Game 3 here. This has to be a keepable hand. Yeah, yeah, it is. Because eventually we can activate Treetop if we can't find a creature. We can't find Progenitus, which is actually a big deal. And we can't find Craterhoof with this hand? Jeez. That might be an issue. Not being able to find Progenitus or Craterhoof. We'd have to find Avenger, which I don't really like. This hand actually is a lot worse now because of that. We don't have any black sources to even get to an early Grave Titan. And having both Progenitus and Craterhoof in my hand is pretty awful. I think I got a mullet, which sucks because this hand could have been insane. But yeah, I got a mull. I got to do better than that. All right, this hand's actually okay. We get to play our Courser with the Mana Crypt. We don't get to Thoughtseize, which kind of sucks, but I think it's worth trying. Our opponent also mulliganed. Not being able to play the turn 1 Courser off of Mana Crypt is not the sexiest, but that's okay. All right. Sylvan Library turn 1 with 3 cards left in hand. Well, not the best, not the worst. All right, well, it's Thoughtseize. Oh, this isn't going to let me play Courser next turn, but I think we better play Thoughtseize now while we still can. All right, Path for Courser or Scavenging Ooze, which is good against our recurring Nightmare plan. That's actually tricky. That is tricky. I think I'm going to let him keep the Path, because even though he can Path Courser, it's going to ramp us closer to Terastodon. So I think we're going to take care of the Ooze. I just don't want Ooze. Ooze is just good against our Fauna Shaman. It's good against our reoccurring Nightmare. I just don't like how it kind of busts us up synergistically a little bit. It's nicer to just have to deal with one Path to Exile because we have a Courser, which is just a really sexy target for my opponent to do it to, I think. I mean, I'm not thrilled about losing my Courser, but he definitely drew some extra cards there. All right. Solemn. All right, well, let's do a turn 2 Solemn. That's pretty sexy. I like that. Turn 2 Solemn is pretty nice. And we'll find our second black source. Good value there. And currently just a couple resources away from Terastodon. Unfortunately, we do have to play our forest first to even cast the Courser of Kruphix, but it does give us some nice info. And our opponent did hurt himself pretty badly that last turn to draw some extra cards. I believe he drew both, which is pretty ballsy. Took another, wow. Interesting. Maybe he's motivated to use Path on Solemn because I won't reap benefit, but more likely he's going to use it on this Courser. Does let me play an extra land though, right? No, I guess I can only, I keep forgetting that I can only just play one land per turn still with Courser. So I guess we'll say heads. Got the flip, that's nice. Avenger, all right. Currently one resource from playing that. Let's go ahead and swing with Solemn. Pretty much no chance of being blocked. He's got pretty good ramp at this point. He's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. That's pretty huge. But, I mean, we're at a pretty good mana total too, so. Let's play the Courser, see what's coming. Recurring Nightmare. All right, well. Not perfect, but not bad either. Hopefully we have a land on top. He could just path here too. Makes sense. More likely he wants to path the first fatty we play, the Avenger or something. If it's Nissa, it's kind of a big deal, but we'll live. All right, let's see what we're up against here. All right. Does he have a sack outlet for that? I hope not. I imagine he finds something good off of that. Makes sense to not attack. All right. So let's say heads again. And we won again. All right. Acidic Slime on top. Well, it's a good way to take care of Pattern of Rebirth. Still just don't have the resources to do anything too sexy yet. So I guess we just got to hold back. I think we're probably blowing up the Pattern of Rebirth. Sylvan Library is good for him, but he can't draw any extra cards anymore. Could blow up the Gaia's Cradle, but he's already got pretty massive ramp. If he has Eldrazi in there, maybe hitting the Gaia's Cradle's better. But we'll find out. Just not sure yet. It's not going to die, so he botched that pretty good. It did not work the way he wants it to. We're still a resource away from going off, but him getting rid of that Path to Exile is going to be pretty helpful when we resolve an Avenger. We've also been pretty lucky on our Mana Crypt, not hitting it 2 times in a row. And eventually we can Terastodon it away when we get 2 resources. Opponent can't really afford to do anything more with Sylvan Library. Voice of Resurgence, totally not a big deal. I actually don't like it that much in my opponent's deck, as a matter of fact, but I'm pretty happy to see it right now. Heads. 3 in a row, jeez. It's like Christmas. All right, let's play our land. Gain our life. Drop our Avenger. Even though I could hit Sylvan Library at this point, it's just pretty irrelevant. And I think we go ahead and swing with our dudes. He can double block a Courser, but it doesn't matter. I don't think he blocks. Well, I guess he kind of has to. No blocks, going to 1. All right. I probably would have blocked with Voice. The double block, I could have only taken 1 out. Mox Diamond does not seem like a terribly useful draw next turn, but that's okay. All right, concession. Our opponent screwed up pretty bad, but then again, we did in game 1, so it all sorts about it. What am I trying to say? It all balances out in the end. All right, so we made it to the finals. We'll see you in round 3.